I had a great sign that said absent.
Florida or something like that, but
Oh, Florida. Okay, yeah. I really don't know where she's at, but somewhere with water.
right?
Okay, well, we'll just, yeah. We'll just be jealous and. I am. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we will call this meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. Please remember, if you want to speak on something that's on the agenda, you may. You just need to sign up, or something that is not on the agenda in the general comments at the end, just please make sure you've signed the sign-in sheet. So with that, we are going to start off with a retirement. I'd like to congratulate Ashley Overpeck. If you'd come up here and shake my hand, and I'll give you your certificate.
Very good. Okay.
That okay work for you?
That's fine. Okay, ready?
Mr. Overbeck's been with us for 10 years, almost nearly the start of North Central Park, just a little after. Just card for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'd like to have you introduce who's all here with you this evening.
Yep, my wife Melanie, our oldest son Justin, and Kristen, and her daughter Chloe. They both live in Noblesville, so they came a good piece to see Dad.
All
So,
right.
appreciate it.
Now we always give retirees a chance to talk for whatever they want to talk about. So you got a few minutes here.
Yeah, and I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity for just a little while, so, as I've told you.
Okay.
So this will just take a few minutes. So I didn't want to do anything incorrect, so I made sure I wrote it down, and I didn't have an English teacher proofread it for me, but we did what we could. So I'd like to thank Dr. Shemp and the board for giving me employment for 10 years, and I do appreciate that. There's been several fulfilling and rewarding projects along the way, and some jobs that I'd rather not have fulfilled, but we did them anyway. I've met a lot of wonderful people and throughout the years and made some great friendships that will last a lifetime. We've had many laughs and fun along the way, but also some sorrows when we would lose a student or a staff member to an accident or illness. So is life, full of twists and turns that are unexpected. And retirement seems to be another curve in the road for my wife and me. But we're putting our trust in God to continue to guide our lives forward. And before I leave the corporation, I would appreciate the board discussing or voting on a couple of subjects in the near future that I have a great interest in. The first subject is custodial staff titles. When we refer to something that might not be important, we might say it's non-essential or of no value or it's not needed. When we refer to custodial staff, sometimes in the handbook or during conversations, we might say that these hardworking people might not be needed or not important or of no value when we use non-teacher or non-certified type of language. The custodial staff are always the first people in school in the mornings, and they are first in line in the defense against germs that spread throughout the buildings. And they are called to perform tasks that no one else would think about doing. They are critical to the success and quality education of the North Central Park School Corporation. And I suggest that the board approves a more appropriate name for our custodians. And I would suggest maybe support services might be appropriate. To possibly encompass all staff or custodians as a more positive tone to their title. And secondly, I would like to thank the staff of NCP for recognizing the great work that the custodians do all year long. They have been rewarded with pulled pork sandwiches for lunch from our principals, which we have not forgotten. And in the past few years, the custodians have been recognized publicly during our graduation ceremonies. And formally acknowledging our custodians is a great way to say thank you. And it enhances the morale of the custodians. But more importantly, a lasting way that you can say you are valued would be to compensate them properly. Some of my custodians are single adults paying rent, buying insurance, and paying for groceries on a below standard level of pay. It would be proper to show them their value by compensating them with a sustainable wage all year long. Over the past few years, we have eliminated some of our custodial positions and at the same time require responsibility for the same pay. Please consider what the support services do for the corporation day in and day out and treat them fairly. So in closing, I would like to express my faith in Jesus Christ as my Savior. Life is difficult as it is, but with Christ, life's burdens are lighter and my faith is strengthened. I will borrow a life verse from a business leader that I admired. And it says, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, shall guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there is any excellence, and if there is anything worthy of praise, let your mind dwell on these things." And so I'll close with one more quote from one famous leader that you would all recognize. And he said, "I am free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last." Thank you for listening.
Mr. Overpeck, for all your service, appreciate it.
Thank you.
And anybody that's here for the party, if you don't wish to stay for the rest of the meeting, don't feel obligated to stay. You're more than welcome to stay, but some of it may not interest you. So with that, we'll move on to revisions or corrections to the agenda. Dr. Schiff?
There will be a few items added to miscellaneous. There's a fundraiser, a field trip, discussion about the HVAC units that are gonna be purchased at Rockville Elementary, and then the preschool handbook updates.
Okay. Very well, we'll move on to the minutes from the January 21st regular and Board of Finance meeting. Are there questions or concerns about those minutes? If there are none, is there a motion to approve those as presented?
So moved.
Elise? Elise has made the motion.
Second.
Gina with the second. All those in favor? 6-0 vote. Okay, we're gonna move down to financial business, payroll and claims, financial reports, ECA reports, and
Just one
utility
second.
cross summary. Oh, he forgot his.
Good help, thanks. Sorry.
All right, payroll and claims, financial reports, ECA reports, and utility cost summaries. Dr. Schiff?
Sure. Payroll and claims, payrolls, at this point in the year, this year, there were only 2 payrolls. Last year, there were 3 at this time. So when you're looking at the comparison again, and that comparison's only worth so much, but it's good to note when there's a big difference, that's typically because there was one or a fewer pay in a given month, or more pays in a given month. So there were just 2. So as far as payroll and claims, it's pretty typical, I guess I would say. Page 37 gets you into the meat of the fund report. As far as the education fund, operations funds, always worth looking at. Currently, the education fund, the very first row, 2.5 million is the current cash balance in the education fund. Which education fund, every time we talk about that, that's funded by student count. And so count day just happened. I'll just go ahead and throw that in now. Count day, we were at 1107. We're down about 4 students. So very close to what we were in the fall. It is, I hate to say it, it's kind of become the norm that from fall to spring, you lose, or fall to winter, you lose a few, but typically there's a bounce back in the following fall. And so that's kind of what we've been seeing the last few years. But it is a solid number to stick with, 1107, just to be within 4 students.
We're only down 4 from the fall.
From the fall.
Well, that's pretty good then.
So that's, I think it was 11 maybe last year. I can't remember top of my head, but it's pretty close to that. Operations fund, 3.4 million right now in cash balance and operations. Obviously, some of those funds are gonna start getting spent as we go into a project here. You'll hear from Charlie from Tecton here in just a little bit. He'll talk a little bit about the upcoming project at Rockville Elementary. Those dollars are aside from the bond, however. So the bond is a separate line item there. So you can see that down below where it says it's 0700 RES Construction Geo Bond. There's 3.6 million still there. It was originally 3.7. There have been some costs already. So it's just worth noting those 3 biggest figures, I think, always. Beyond that, are there any questions on any of that? Okay. Page 45 starts to speak to the ECA accounts. We talked before about the middle school football came up, and actually I should have said in my requests and communications, middle school football is not gonna present on fundraiser this month. Next month, we're gonna get some info. Lisa and I talked about that the other day. Sorry, I should have also said that they won't be discussing that at this meeting, but I've got some tracking of dollars on that. They're purchasing helmets, and they can give you more details on what all they wanna purchase and thoughts and dreams they have for middle school football at the March 11th meeting. Wasn't quite ready to do it for this meeting. Otherwise, on the ECA balances, I don't know that there's a lot to point out there, but if you have questions, I can try to answer them. If not, you can go ahead and go to the utility report on page 48. And you can see, we're 1 month in our utilities. Obviously, utility costs have become, it's increased across the board, and with these cold days, we're gonna see higher costs. And it's just, you've probably seen it at home. I haven't looked at mine yet. I don't really wanna look at it, but I'm sure mine will be up too. I'm not sure of percentages, but it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up, no doubt. Which shouldn't be a surprise, it's just a fact, right? It's just a fact. Beyond that, I guess I would recommend that the payroll claims, financial reports, extracurriculars, and utilities cost summaries be approved as presented.
I guess why does it always appear that the schools in Rockville are all up significantly in the schools?
The
You're under,
utilities.
Does the Pro Alliance and the Center Point, do they go through the town of Rockville or we bill directly for those?
It's the town of Rockville, right? Sorry, Vanessa.
Bill directly?
Which one are you looking at? On page 49?
48, 49?
Oh, compare the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it's 61%.
Yeah, like that one went up 61% and I know there can be some billing, but that other one went down 13%. Turkey rent. And it could be a lot of factors in that comparison, right? I mean, you really need to look at an overtime comparison, but I was just curious.
Yeah, and we could do a deeper dive into that sometime if you want. Do a large purchasing on gas. That's not something that we've done, but we can look into that someday.
I would assume electric, water, and sewer are bought from the town, whereas here we'd buy from, like we'd have septic or buy water from Bloomingdale or somewhere probably. So that might be.
Right, well, those are all obviously don't move near as much as the ones in the town of Rockville do either.
Yeah.
Anyway, other questions, comments on any of those 4 reports? If there are none, do we have a motion to accept those reports?
So moved.
Zach has made the motion.
Second.
Mark with the second. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, Mr. Secretary, would you please read the donations?
Dennis and Chris Crum, $250. Indiana Floats LLC, $500. Randall and Jamie York, $150. Wheeler Realty, $150. Rockville Coin and Jewelry, $500. Coal Creek Sporting Club, $200. Anonymous, $250. Mount Hermon Bible Church, $40. Tri Kappa Rockville Chapter, $75. Bloomingdale Friends Church, $4,459. Park County Community Foundation Anonymous Grant, $14,520. Keystone Charitable Foundation, $500. Michael and Teresa Peacock, $250. Anonymous donation, $100. Anonymous, $19.47. Anonymous, $94.77. And Ronald Bailey, $150 for a total of $22,208.24.
Thank you, Zach. That's another awesome total that we got donated that month. We appreciate it from everybody. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Elise?
Yes.
Elise has made the motion.
Second.
Zach with the second. All those in favor? 6-0 vote. Moving on down the road, we got some fundraisers. Dr. Schimpf?
And only other thing I would go back for a second on the donations is, I mean, we appreciate all of them, obviously, but that large donation there on Anonymous for the preschool, that significantly helped. I know we talked a little bit about there were additional dollars coming in, but that really helped with the deficit that was there on the financial side. We see it as a credit for all the work that's being done though, but it's debit on the cost side, but I really appreciate all of it, but that really made a significant difference. Fundraisers, the Park Heritage High School FFA, Penny Wars, February 23rd through the 26th. They hope to raise $100 in Penny Wars. I know that Turkey Run Elementary raised considerably more than that when they were just recently doing a similar fundraiser that you think, well, how are we gonna bring in any money on something like Penny Wars? It's amazing sometimes what you can bring in a little bit of money for on these fundraisers. So we appreciate all of them, even though when they think they're only gonna bring in $100 or something. It's helpful, useful toward the kids' experiences. Park Heritage High School FFA also is doing Hats for Howie, February 23rd through February 27th. They hope to raise $200, they say. Those are the only 2 fundraisers for now until miscellaneous. If you would consider approving those, that would be great.
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns? Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Gina has made the motion. Nick with the second. All those in favor? So, okay, there is no old business this evening. Question and communications, middle school football's been put off till next month, so we have Tecton.
Hello, my name's Charlie Gall. I'm with Tecton Construction Management. I will be the project manager for the upcoming project at Rockville Elementary. So just here to give an update where we're at, where things are at right now. So got final drawings last week from the architect and the engineers. We're working on the final bid documents right now. They will hit the street on Monday. So the project's going out to bid on Monday. Bids will be due on March 9th. And we'll have the recommendation letters ready for the board meeting on the 11th for approval. And then we'll get contracts moving quickly after that. And then we're looking to start construction April 1st. So it's all moving along pretty quick right now, so.
We're working on getting some boxes, working with Tim Garver's trying to get some boxes for teachers to get things out of their rooms. We're gonna clear out some spaces. There's the art room, music room, obviously, that aren't used every single day anyways, so they'll be displaced so that we can get in early enough. And then there's also work that'll be done in the basement. The basement area was cleaned up quite a bit, had a quick coat of paint on some of that since it was emptied out, and gonna use that space to do some of the work. The other thing that I was gonna point out miscellaneous, I don't know, Charlie, if you wanna say anything about school needing to purchase some units to help with timeliness on the HVAC.
Yes, so with this project, just going out to bid now, there's pretty long lead time on some of the equipment. The unit ventilators, the pumps, heat exchanger, some of those have a 16-week lead time. And so to get them here in time, we're really trying to do the entire project over the summer. But to make that happen, we have to have that equipment. So we're working with the school with Dr. Shemp, and they're purchasing the equipment because if we have to wait on the contractor, after bids and then get a contract and then submittals, it would really push us too far out to complete the project over the summer. So we've been working on getting the equipment purchased here, hopefully this week, get it finalized and get it purchased.
We did something similar with Turkey Run Elementary when we needed to purchase those units in a short time frame. Did practically the same thing. There was just less of it. Questions for Charlie, anybody? Timetable wise, you mentioned trying to get it wrapped up by the start of school. Obviously, things can happen.
Yeah, if there was some equipment that or a material that we can't get or doesn't really show up in time to meet the schedule, that would be the biggest hiccup that might push us into the fall semester or that first 9 weeks a little bit, possibly. So it's a lot of work to get done in a short period of time. So that would be really the only hiccup is if we can't get the material and everything here. So all right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to new business. We got several personnel items. Dr. Shemp?
Yeah, we've got termination, David Beverly as a bus route driver effective February 9th, 2026. We have a resignation from Charlotte Thomas as a custodian, effective date February 27th. That's at Turkey Run Elementary. And we've got new hires, Adrian Stetler Mitchell as a speech language pathologist. She will start March 23rd. That's right after spring break. She would be at $55,000, which is in line with our other SLPs. That's right in line with the other SLPs. She starts March 23rd, and Kathy Clifford, as you recall, is retiring. And so Kathy will be segueing her way out. This will be a transition time for Adrian to come in and take over. An opportunity for us to look at how we're providing those services to kids. Augustina Scribner, 8-hour custodian at Park Heritage Middle School, January 27th effective date. New hire, Candida Arcos, 8-hour custodian at Turkey Run Elementary, start date February 11th. Thomas Scudder is moving to the full-time, from part-time to full-time at 8 hours at Turkey Run Elementary from January 23rd. He's been doing that work already. And then a leave for Allie Woods from approximately February 24th until April 7th. And I've got the tag committee members listed here. The board, you'd previously approved paying those people $250 to work through that process. Shane Vandiver, Tracy Burns, Stephanie Studebaker, Jennifer Conley, Jenny Benjamin, Kristen Bonomo, Bruce Patton, Lisa Reitzman. And then ECA's varsity baseball, Kurt Hopkins may have been on an earlier list. We want to make sure that we got that verified here. And then there was also a swap because we had 4 people filling 2 positions, if I remember correctly. And so that's now split up between the 2 people as assistant varsity baseball, James Goodwin and Tyler Burgess, both 50-50. Assistant varsity baseball, Brock Branson and Kyle Hopkins, 50-50. That is all of the personnel for
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions, comments on any of the personnel?
I guess I do. For Ally, do we have a designated sub for that route, or is it kind of gonna be a rotating route sub?
Don't yet have a designated sub. We've got about 3 different things that we're trying to put together. We posted on Indeed recently for bus drivers. We ended up with a number of applicants. None of them are current bus drivers anywhere that I've seen. There are a couple with CDLs, and then there are some people who have expressed interest in maybe driving an activity bus, because you can do that when you pull in the driveways, and we've done that sometimes. So we've got a few different things in there they're trying to put together.
That's all I had. Thanks.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'd move.
Dick's made the motion,
Second.
Zach with the second. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, resolution on education to operation transfers.
Got a couple resolutions there in your packet. The first one is by law, we are allowed to move 15% of education dollars into the operations fund. We've not used that or hit that maximum. I don't think we've ever hit it since we've been here. We were functioning around a 12% number in the past. With all of the changes, we need to, and I would like to go ahead and ask that you approve transferring up to the full 15% from education to operations, with the intent that if we don't have to transfer the full amount, we won't. But by going ahead and approving it up front, then it gives us an opportunity to make those changes all the way up until, I think it was December of last year when we made the last I know it was December of last year, we made the last transfer, because we were able to say we had enough dollars here where we could put them back over in operations. So what I'm asking for is an approval of a fund transfer amount up to 1.523084 million, which is 15% of the proposed state tuition resolution. Doesn't mean we have to do that amount, but just that you're saying we can. There was a year where I believe we did it on a monthly basis, and that was kind of nice, but I don't feel as good about doing that right now, and there was some conversation about that. I just want the total amount approved if you're willing to do so.
And then when you actually do transfer something, you will bring that back to us. Okay. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Zach has made the motion. Mark with the second. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, the 1003 flex waiver.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, you had approved a flex waiver, which basically gave us flexibility in how we were dealing with the minutes in the school day. This is essentially allowing us to update some of that language for how we're gonna do the late starts next year, which I believe there are only 7 of those next year that will be included in the calendar, which is fewer than this year. But as far as the state's concerned, they like to have the resolution, signatures sent to them so that then they can take it to the state board and approve it through the appropriate process. So that's what this is that you have before you here.
Has that been working pretty well?
I feel like it's been working well. We have a couple principals here. I don't know if you guys have any input on the delayed start days this year. If you want to put in a input.
Although this year it's hard to differentiate between normal late starts and weather late starts, huh?
I really like specifically first semester. In August, you have your back to school days. And then by the end of the month, you really have a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't get to at the beginning. So those first 2 in particular are really important, I feel like. So that was very helpful. At least the first semester for sure. We just haven't had one this semester, but first semester was excellent to have that time.
Bruce, any comments? All right. Any comments from the board? we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Gina has made the motion
Second.
by Elise. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, let's move on to miscellaneous business. Looks like we got a fundraiser for the FFA.
High school FFA again, yard cleanup, April 1st through April 30th. They're hoping to raise $500, going around cleaning up yards for people.
Huh? You're in? There are no questions. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Gina's made the motion. Put her at the top of the list.
Second, cause I'll be right there behind.
Elise with the second. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, we got a field trip.
And this is an international trip, Letha Stone, Morgan Cooper, we've had a great deal of interest in these international trips. And they're looking at taking a group of students on spring break of 2028 to Budapest, Vienna, and Prague. They'll have 12 or more people that will be with them, and those two are the only two identified chaperones so far. Would like to get an approval for a trip. Probably sign up to go to that too if you want, along with the yard cleaning.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
All right, if there are no questions, we have a motion.
So moved.
Zach has made the motion.
Second.
Nick with the second. All those in favor? 6-0. Okay, the HVAC unit purchase.
Yeah, and I don't know that, I put down there that there was a need for approval, that's really up to you, but as much as anything, I knew Charlie was gonna talk about the need to purchase units. And knowing that that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's important to me for the board to be very aware and you know, in tune with that. And so I just kind of wanted to bring it to your attention one more time, have a little conversation about it. Because there's certain process we have to go through. I'm working again with Ice Miller and Kristen and trying to make sure that we're doing everything appropriately, because you can't just totally piecemeal out parts of the job entirely. But if it's to expedite the process, there are some allowances for that, up to a certain dollar amount. And we're just, I want you to know that I'm being aware of that and trying to make sure that we do that appropriately. And again, anytime there's that amount of money being spent, I want you fully aware, and if you have questions about it, please ask. We don't have all the quotes in that we need quite yet. I've sent over what we have to DLZ, which again is the architects on this project, so that they can verify that what we will be purchasing is correct. Obviously, Tecton will put eyes on that as well, so that those experts can decide, yes, this is what we specified, and you should move forward with the purchase. It's all about timeliness though. So one of the groups, it was 14 weeks. One of the ones that was a better bid was 14 weeks or a better quote. Another, it was, it may have been as short as 8 weeks on one of them, but that was the ceiling units, which were a little bit simpler. And anyways, I want you to just, if you have questions, please ask, and trying to make sure that we get it all taken care of appropriately.
So just clarifying, which units are we?
So when
Discussing.
we talked about those vertical units in the classrooms, so there's the vertical ones, and then there's also some of the classrooms already have them in the ceiling. And those are actually gonna, in all likelihood, end up as two different manufacturers. The reason being, the ones in the ceiling are already that same manufacturer, and it's gonna be more of a plug and play, in their words, where they can fit it right in and move more quickly. The other is not gonna be, because it's a different setup, right? Does that answer?
Yeah, I just want, I figured that's what you would say, but I just, clarification.
There's also pumps that have to be purchased, and so the pumps are also significant, and there's a cost there.
Dumb question, but so which one of our funds are we gonna fund that out of then if we're not taking out of the bond?
So the only, not the only, but one thing we could run into, having them expedite the project, we talked about for the next year budget, budgeting dollars in for next year's budget. We may have to find a way to cash roll that for this year, which would be potentially in the rainy day that you would make up for with the next year budget dollars. We have to see where they're at, but that could be the cost of getting it done faster.
But that's what I thought you were probably gonna do, I just wasn't sure.
Do you think the project could potentially be more because they're moving faster?
They've said that. Yeah, they've said that. I will say, Tim Garber's done a great job and his having had experience in jobs like this already. The initial quote on the vertical units was $60,000 more than ones that Tim was familiar with that they used at another school. So that's 60,000 less. The other quote was also, if you wanted to expedite it, it was about $35,000 additional. And the group that he had didn't have an additional cost to expedite it. So very helpful. Yeah, very, very helpful. That was Tim just digging into it. He's working on it every day. I mean, he's doing good work.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion so we can purchase some of these HVAC units earlier to get the project rolling. We have a motion.
So moved.
Mark, all those in favor? 6-0. Okay, preschool PK rates.
Yeah, pages, oh gosh, 1 through 17 in your miscellaneous packet there. You've got the preschool pre-K handbook. Marcy spent a lot of time with that. The items in red are the old items going away. What's in yellow is being updated. Krista and I spent some time talking through some of this week. We also talked about rates, which are the rates that we are proposing would be $110, which is what it was last year, $110 per week. $75 per week if you do a partial, no matter the length of the partial, it's $75. And if you're a teacher's kid, it's $55, which is what we did before, which is half the cost. So it's $110, $75, $55. And part of the reason for making sure and getting this in now is because we want to get that information out there so people know that what opportunities exist for them to come to the early childhood program. After school programming will be handled by the YMCA. We are looking at preschool programming, it is the right word, but it's 7:30 before school starts programming. We're considering that, talking about whether or not we need to have a program earlier to help those families. We did 7 o'clock this year. It's a little bit of a stretch on capacity wise, and we think that 7:30 might work, but we're still exploring that piece. So that's not included in here. I don't know that the Y would want to do the before school piece. We could take instructional assistants and have their hours start early in the day potentially. Instead have them, end later. So they'd start at 7:30 and end. Questions, Scott?
So I haven't really had a chance to read through all of this, but I did, so the in yellow you're still working on, or yellow is changes?
Yellow's being updated.
It's being updated?
Yeah, that's,
This is the update? The yellow is the
Yes.
update? Okay, so I guess my question is, with us having the preschool all at the Rockville campus, and I know that we are going to have some Turkey Run Elementary teachers who are going to have children that are going to be in the preschool program.
Yep.
A car drop off that'll begin at 7:45. Those teachers aren't gonna have ample time to be in their own classroom to drop their children off at preschool.
That's why it's important to have the before school.
But wasn't there gonna be bus service?
we talked about having a bus to go from here to there. But are you saying, but if you're dropping your kid off, you wouldn't have time.
Right,
You'd
because
have to drop your kid
Because you might be
here.
going to another daycare in Rockville anyway to drop your other child off, but you have a child going to the preschool.
Transportation was the piece that we felt like we needed to still work on the most with this handbook. Cause there's gonna be.
It just
things like-
concerns me because I think that we're gonna leave people behind if,
I mean, they're doing 7 o'clock this year, and there's quite a few that get dropped off early.
Yeah.
You know, no way we wouldn't continue that. I mean, that would allow for like that, like teachers' kids and everything like that. I mean, that's a pretty standard thing for any daycare or anything, which is essentially what this is.
What time did you say they're doing this year?
7 o'clock.
They are.
And why are we backing it up to 7:30?
Thought there were 3 kids were coming in and I'm not sure how many students would take advantage of the 7 o'clock next year, but it doesn't mean they wouldn't. So,
You're
yeah,
gonna
so
have a
then you
different
don't,
group of kids.
you don't know,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be totally different group of kids.
Well, if it's
Backing
only
that up,
3 to 6, then we would only need 1, maybe 2 staff as well. We're not talking a dozen kids. So, and I would like to accommodate our staff as much as possible.
so at minimum 7:30 and maybe back to 7 again is what I'm hearing would be a preference.
I just think you need to give your teachers who teach at this campus ample time to get from the Rockville campus
That's a good
to
point.
the
Yeah.
North campus so that they are in their own classroom for their children, for
Would
their students.
7:30 do that for them, or do they need 7?
No, I think 7:30 would be probably okay.
And is that something we're doing for staff? We're doing everybody drop off. It'd be everybody drop off.
Everybody.
I think,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're gonna be there.
I think you're gonna get more students if you allow, if you offer that. A lot of people that are gonna leave and go to work that might not be employed with the school.
If you have somebody leaving and going to Terre Haute to work, I mean,
They might leave at 7 o'clock.
Right.
So what time are you comfortable with?
7 o'clock worked.
7 o'clock?
I-
Stick with it?
I would vote for 7, yeah.
I'm fine
can we
with
start
7,
out at
yeah.
7
Start
o'clock
out
and then if we
7.
see that it's
Yeah,
not,
if there's no students, then I mean, yeah.
why wouldn't we move it back and move it?
Yeah, it's easier to push it back than move it forward.
Okay. Good. What else? Did you see anything else in there? I know it's short time.
Yeah, I haven't.
We
had
can
time.
change if if we need to come back and look at it again, we can too, cause it's short time. That's a good point.
I would just be curious, I mean. I think the benefit of going completely down to nothing for our staff is more than $55 returning.
Yeah, you wanna go to 0 for staff?
I think so. I think Southmont does.
I like that as a perk for our staff being here and all they give us. I mean, I think that gives them incentive to be happy here.
I'm sure they will appreciate that. It's great.
That'd be like teachers and IAs and anybody that works at the school.
Not the school board.
I'm not having another kid, so.
I think anybody that works at the school should have that benefit.
Yeah.
Very good. What else? Yeah, anything else?
That was the only thing that caught my eye on the
That's great.
rates.
You sure no more kids, Zach?
I can't speak for.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Subs, they sub over a certain time every month, but they be considered staff, or is there a discount rate for subs?
I'm thinking if you allow the subs in after at least a certain amount, probably gonna help our sub situation
Quality stuff.
potentially.
I think it'd need to be a significant amount probably though, like not like 1 or 2, like
I mean, I don't know what that number looks like. I'd be curious. It's 8.
Days a month.
A month, okay.
I think you guys would have a better viewpoint on that than we do probably, on what that would be.
We may not have anybody, but if it's good to know.
It's twice a week. It's really helpful.
I'd say we try it. I mean, if we jam ourselves up, we're not in a position to jam ourselves up this year, so we can come back and readdress it next year. Any other questions, comments? With those updates, do we have a motion to approve?
Can I just make I was just wanna make a
Yep.
comment. It's kind of a question too. I'm assuming that we're just offering the preschool program and not the YMCA after-school program. Okay,
Yeah.
that's on
This year,
there.
we guaranteed after school as an incentive to try to get people involved, and we needed to be able to separate that.
I just wanna
Thank
make
you
that
for-
clear
yeah,
that
thanks
it
for-
that it didn't include the after-school program.
Thank you for doing
Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
Gina has made the motion.
Second.
Mark with the second. All those in favor? 6-0 vote. Okay, that shuts the door on miscellaneous business. We'll move on to superintendent's report. Dr. Schimpf?
Well, I've already talked about student count. That was the primary thing I wanted to talk about in my report. I mean, for the most part, we're pretty much consistent there. You know, there's gonna be a lot happening with this early childhood space, and we've got a lot going on. We've been building up to it for a while, but there's gonna be a lot of activity all of a sudden. I met with some people with playground equipment the other day. They sale, of course, right now, so we need to figure out if, you know, they're gonna be the ones to use. I've met with the guy a few different times already. I think it's gonna be a good fit, but you know, all those sorts of things are gonna have to come together. And so there's some stress with that, but it's good stress, right? Cause it's gonna be major improvements for kids, and so you know, when it's said and done, we should have 5 classrooms available for 3s and 4s. Now, if we can fill those, that'd be amazing. That would be fantastic. So it's exciting to work through, but there's a whole lot of work yet to happen here real quickly in the summer, and getting people out of their classrooms and into other spaces. That's stressful for teachers, right? That nobody wants to get up and have to move out of their space. So trying to figure out how to caringly move through that. That's tough, having to move out of your space. So but it's gonna be a busy summer. Rockville Elementary is gonna be closed down to a great extent for the summertime. You know, we're not gonna want any activity really in there, so that we can get the work done and not worry about somebody getting hurt. So that's coming up quickly. I've asked the YMCA about some details on their summer camp that would be based out of Turkey Run Elementary. I don't have those details yet. I've asked them for that. It's probably early for them. It'd be in February, but it feels like it's April or May sometimes to me as we're thinking about all these things that have to happen. So I'm waiting on details there. I don't have a whole lot else to report at this time beyond that, unless there are any questions on anything else you'd like to talk about.
So like all the summer cares are gonna be tricky run because of the project in Rockville?
Anything summer, so summer school, you know, for any kiddos that might have to retake an iRead or something like that, they would be. Last year it was all at Rockville Elementary. We'd said we'd do it at Turkey Run. We didn't know exactly how all this was gonna play out, but
Any questions for Dr. Schimpf on his report? All right, we'll move on to comments from the public. Mark, we'll start with you, if you'd like to.
Probably should let this one go, but
Are you gonna talk about me being a bad sportsman at the girls'
No,
basketball
no.
game? Okay. I can admit that I'm probably not the model sportsman at girls' basketball game. Throw that out there.
but it would be worth recognizing their regional championship. That would be worth recognizing
Yes,
as
indeed.
well.
Would be. Just curious, obviously hearing a lot about Southwest Park and Montezuma and all that, and I'm wondering if you anticipate possibility of additional students maybe coming from Montezuma into Rockville Elementary.
And we're always open to having
And what your
more students,
capacity is.
right? And knowing that we have possibly 5 new classrooms for young students, we have space for additional kids, of course. And you know, these buildings were built with a different capacity level than they're at right now anyways. So, I mean, we have space for students. Welcome any kids that wanna come here, but just a different situation right now, so.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, comments from the public is closed. Our next meeting is, we doing that on March
We're
11th?
okay with the 11th, if you guys are okay with the 11th.
Okay. And it'll be here at 6 o'clock.
The other question on future meetings was I was wondering about getting some sort of work session together with principals to come in and be able to have conversations with the board, similar to what's been done in the past. I was looking at the week of March 30th to April 2nd. I had checked with Kim and got a couple of dates from her. I'll have to look back at my phone to tell you what those are, but I knew it would be dependent upon everybody else's dates and if they have any days available that week. Or if you don't. Good to know. So the last week of March, first week of April, if that doesn't work.
I'm available.
For Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
So yeah, with everything going on, with everything, that's a pretty good idea.
Kim had said the 30th and the 2nd were not good. First is a Wednesday, I know.
Elise,
That week I've got nothing in focus.
Trying to confirm something.
Yeah.
I should be good.
all right, let's do it on the,
So 6 o'clock, where would you like to do that? Do you wanna come here? Do you wanna go elsewhere? I know we've gone other places before.
You're looking at the first.
First, was that was okay or?
if there's nothing that we really need to look at, I think we just do it here.
It's at Bruce's house.
April 1st. I'm not falling for that trick.
April 1st.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Are you two principals good?
It's like that annual, you have it every year.
Yeah, well, I wanna hear, you know, goals, needs, hopes, all those kinds of things from the principals so they can have a conversation with you. Maybe you have, especially middle high school, any sort of sports specific questions, that's a good time to have those, you know, facilities and all those kinds of things.
Are you thinking 6 o'clock then on the first?
Is that good for you guys?
Just cause we've never met him, could Mr. Garver come just so we could,
I'll try. I mean,
even
I'll
for 5
speak
minutes, especially with the elementary project and stuff, he would have a lot of insights.
Do you want him, he can, I'll try to get him to come to that meeting. I was just thinking, do you want me to try to get him on the 11th? I mean, if you would, either way, either and or whatever, as far as, I'll see what works for him. I know it's his anniversary today, so he wasn't here today.
Do you have any preference, Elise?
No, like I said, we just haven't met him and he's got obviously a pretty important job in the corporation, so it'd be nice.
Say either date is fine, whichever
Yeah,
works out best
either.
for him.
Are there others you'd like to have? We obviously have to work with their schedules, and I floated out dates to principals, and we didn't settle on anything, so they at least knew that I was going to be asking you about dates. Lots of schedules to coordinate, so.
Anybody thinks of anybody else they wanna invite between now and then, we can see if we can add them.
I guess I mean, I'd just say I'd be okay if any of them wanna meet with us and say whatever they wanna say, I'm fine with that too.
Work sessions are open too, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
public, so.
Unless we have an executive part of it, if we want to, but that's a reason, so, yep. Yeah, anybody can come, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's the deal. If there is nothing else, we'll see everybody at Green Council at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Pay attention to how I act. When we
So Scott, or lunch is on Scott after we win.
win, I'll buy the board lunch. I promise. We're adjourned. Who will be playing that
I would
night?
go if I.
And it's on my desk by my motion.
What would you think it's cool to play in Green Castle too, that
Yeah.
Mac and Alley be fun for that.
Did you get around? I was in the concession stand
I just
line.
love playing in the gym.
It's a nice gym, just a locker room.